Hi guys, today I wanted to show you a machine that's useful for photography. It makes virtual backgrounds behind your subject and it does it live. Now this is similar to green screens in the fact that you can put backgrounds behind your subjects that aren't really there, except that this one does it live and you can see a preview right in the camera as you're doing it. Whereas a green screen, you do both images and then you merge them later in editing using something called mask. Anyway, this here is a really neat machine and I am selling it, so I thought I'd go ahead and show you how it works before I get rid of it. We'll go through all the little bits and pieces. So I think you'll find this interesting, so let's hang out and we'll get started. This is what the Scene Machine looks like, all put together with a camera and zoom lens attached. And the nice thing about this is you can put many different types of cameras on the mount, and you can put like still cameras and traditional film cameras, as well as modern digital cameras and movie cameras. So it's very flexible, and it's really neat how it works. Even though it's old school, it's truly a little magic box. It can take an analog source and make it live so you can actually see it as you're doing it. If you take pictures as a portrait photographer or do a lot of headshots, this is also useful in the fact that you can offer many different varieties of backgrounds with very quick setup. So it's a really neat machine. Anyway, this video is going to serve two purposes. I'm showing it so potential buyers can see. And also, I think it's just neat to show it off and its magical powers and exactly how it works and how it does live previews. Now, I should mention that the background, the virtual background, the retroreflective screen that comes with this is also a key part. So the two parts together make up the system, and you have to have both parts, and that will be offered with the package as well when I sell it. So let's go in for a closer look and see how this Scene Machine, the magical photography box, actually works. The first thing I wanted to show is this nice camera mount. If you unloosen the screw here, it has a ball bearing system, and you can actually just go ahead and turn your camera right up so you can do vertical or horizontal or angled shots. It's very smooth. You can see the whole bit moves. So it's got a really nice, camera mount to it. And down here is the block that you can move around for a lot of different types of cameras. And I also have an extra block for other types. Underneath this hood in the front of the camera is a mirror, and it's a special coated mirror that has silver on one side. Let me pull this shroud up and you'll get a better look at it. So this is that one-way mirror that I was telling you about, and the way that the camera and optics work is this lens right here, we'll look at it in just a moment, projects an image for the background out of this lens. It comes up, it hits this glass, and then it projects to the special screen, while the camera is looking straight through this way and just seeing what's out there. And so basically the two images merge on this special mirrored glass, and that's really how it works. Let's go ahead and take a look at the projection unit and see how that works. This unit that hangs right here is the actual projector for the background scenes. And what you do is there's a holder here that's held on magnetically, and you could put your media in or your slides or whatever you have to make a background with into here. We'll look at these in just a moment. And then you put it underneath here, and the light source will go through the slide, come through the lens, and that's how it bounces. And if you want to just use part of your media down here, just a small part of the slide. You can use the zoom feature and change the size of it, as well as you can use the focus and iris controls and make it blurry or very sharp if you want to get that sense of depth of field. I like to blur it out a little bit and shoot it at a very low f-stop. So you could actually replace this unit with a LCD projector and have video source going through this for live video if you wanted. Now, in addition to the light bulb that shows you a preview of what you're getting, there's also a flash tube inside here that's connected to the camera, and when you actually take the picture, it tells the strobe inside here to go off. So it's a quick burst of light through here. And if you're using it in video mode, of course you won't use the flash. That'll be just be for the still photography. But there's a bunch of options here. In addition to using the slides, you can also use like color filters. This is a red one, and there's a slot right underneath the lens here, and I can put that in, and that'll change the color of the slide. Or I can pull the slide out and just use it just for the color like that. So there it is. There's the projection unit with the lens, as well as the built-in flash tube. I mentioned that there's a flash tube inside here, so I went ahead and turned it on with the control panel to show you. Right now you can probably see a little bit of light coming through, and that's your preview light, and you can use that for doing videos or things that don't require a lot of light. Now if you want the flash, you just hook this up to your camera, and then this control panel controls it. Let me hit the test button and you'll see a fire. So like I said, there's a flash tube inside here, and it's connected to the camera, and that's just a rapid burst of light, and you can adjust your strobe settings all right here. So that's what that's all about. There's also a built-in fan down here. It keeps this whole unit cool. This is what the other side of the Scene Machine looks like. And there's a fuse here, and there's also the cable that I was telling you about that goes up to the camera and plugs in here that allows you to use the strobe mechanism inside the projector. So there's a lot of adjustments on here that you can fine-tune it to do just about what you need. Let's go ahead and take a look at the slides, the actual media that you use for the backgrounds, and talk about how we can make those. This book contains the media or the slides, and most of these I made myself, and all you have to do is get some slide film and take a bunch of pictures of things that you would like to use for backgrounds, and then have them developed, and they'll be turned into these slides, and you can use them over and over. Let's take a look at one of these pages. I'll pull it out so you can see. Might be a little hard to tell what these are, but you can see the different colors and patterns of the backgrounds. Let me show you one with some actual things in it. Well, here are some with some outside scenes. I have some trees and some paths and just nice looking scenery. So it's endless in what you can do. In fact, if you want a nice car in the background, you can just go to an auto show, take a picture with slide film of a nice car, and then use it in your studio. And if you do it right, you can make it look like your subject's right in there with that car. So anyway, these are the secret to the background system. I should say another secret. There's a lot of fun stuff that happens. Here are some of the color gels that you can use in the machine to change the color of the background to match the subject's clothing, or you can use it in conjunction with backgrounds to change their color. And so you could use just about any color you can think of and match clothing very easily. Now the screen itself is a little hard to photograph because it's made of this retro reflective fabric. It's more like a film. I'll show you in just a minute, but see these weird little spots here? Now the properties allow the light to come back to the source. So, you know, if we throw a light at it in this direction, it'll come back to us. And this is made out of that same stuff that you'll see on stop signs and things that reflect back your car headlights. And like the fabric stripes that are on firemen suits, you know, except it's the right color. And there's also a mesh fabric in front of this. Now my piece that I've got here is at least 10 feet by 10 feet, I think is what it is. Now if you look on the front, there's this real fine fabric, and that helps to keep the light straight down with the floodlights and the flashlights in front of this. It's more to help control the direction of like the studio lights. You could use this without it, but it's way easier with. And then this is the actual material here, and I think this stuff's made by 3M. Now if you look on the back, it's kind of hard to see, but looks like it's been laminated to, you know, like a really stiff substrate. Anyway, it's kind of, you know, white silver in color, and this one's in really super good condition. It's been taken care of, and it's on a big like plastic roll. So if you see up there, this whole thing is rolled up onto that big plastic roll, and really I've never traveled with this at all. I've just left it hang right here, and it's in super good condition. I don't think there's any flaws with it at all. Like I said, it looks a little weird on camera here, but that's just the angle and the screen. So that's the screen and the retro reflective properties. I'll demonstrate with a flashlight. Hang on a second. So I wanted to demonstrate the reflective properties of the screen. So I just stood back with my little Nikon camera, and I've got a flashlight attached to this thing. See? Watch what happens when I bring it up there. See how bright that is? Really comes back bright. It's almost like you were looking right into that, but the closer I get it to the lens of the camera, the brighter and better you can see it. So that's how the Scene Machine works. That's the trick. That screen, that is the trick. Now if I come over here, I'm just off camera, I have my light pointed at the screen. You might be able to see a little bit on there, but you can't see it real clearly. But as soon as I start moving this closer to the center of the lens, look what happens. Let's go back out. See how it just dulls down? So, pretty unusual stuff. Like I said, I think this is manufactured or was actually developed by 3M. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, that's the screen. So here's a book of just some samples that I've done with the Scene Machine. I've done a lot of high school senior photography in the past, so that's what most of these are. But all these background scenes, like these leaves in the background, these are all done on the virtual background, and they were just basically standing in front of a silver screen. And you can use other things in the front, like this little clay pillar here, to make it look more three-dimensional. Let me just go through here real quick, and you can see all the different varieties. Here I used to use a slide that said senior on it, and this was a really popular one. If you have somebody in it like a sweatshirt, you can put, you know, fall leaves behind them. And I used to commonly try to match their outfits with what they were around with the scene. So, you know, like this guy here, you can see he's got this burnt orange shirt on, so I used a burnt orange background, and it worked out well. This girl has on a really dark blue shirt, so I used a dark blue navy background for that. There's that senior one again. So I've really used the heck out of this machine, and it saved me a ton of time. But I'm getting out of photography and I don't do it anymore, so I don't need the machine. But it's certainly a huge asset, and you can get it for a really good price for me. I just want to get a few dollars back on it and I'll be happy. Now you will have to pick up your own tripod, and I'll include the slides, and of course the camera and the lens will have to be your own. I'm not selling those, but if interested, shoot me out a message and I'll get with you if I haven't sold it already. Look at this one. There's a full piano in there. The girl likes to play piano, and what's the chances of having a piano in my studio? 0, right? Here's one that I did. Look at that. She's with a remote control airplane that we were covering for a job. So we did the, the American type background. Here's another neat one here. This guy was a local firefighter for volunteer, and we put some smoke behind him and used a really good red for the background. And here's one that's high fashion look. She's on a really nice looking porch here, and you can buy these slides and get them already made, but it's much funner to do your own. I shot most of my own slides with just common things. Let me give you an idea here. This one here is a picture of a beach, and I remember taking this picture when I was on vacation with my family, and I just used slide film. Here's one more I wanted to show here. Can't find it. Here's an example of a brick wall here, and this was another really popular one. There he is with his guitar. And this one that looks like barnwood behind the guy, that's actually barnwood, and I just took a picture of a wall of a barn. And then once I had it, I just kept reusing it over and over. So I hope you find that interesting. Let's go out for some final thoughts. Well, there it is. There's a Scene Machine. I took it all apart and put it in this box. It's all ready to ship to you. If you do want this machine, seriously, get in touch with me and I'll hook you up for a good price. All the slides, all the instruction manuals, all the little vignettes and cards are there, along with, like I said, the screen. I'll even sell you the big lens and camera if you want. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful and informative and interesting at least. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.